Today, we are going to be talking about how to use data to find high potential dropshipping products. And we're starting right now. Hey there, how's it going? My name is Timothy Danberg. I'm the Digital Marketing Manager at Storetasker. Storetasker is the fastest, easiest way to get in touch with a vetted Shopify expert who can help fix your store. Today, I am joined by Jessica, and I'm Guzik.
You nailed it. You
Yes.
nailed it.
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome. I was like, no, I should have asked that before. Okay. Jessica Guzik is the social media manager at Oberlo. She researches trending dropshipping products and shares her findings with Oberlo's followers on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you don't already know what Oberlo is, Oberlo allows you to easily import products from suppliers into your Shopify store and ship directly to your customers in only a few clicks. Jessica, thanks so much for coming on.
My pleasure. I've been looking forward to this.
And you're joining us from your office in Berlin, is that correct?
That's right. So you can see it's getting a little dark behind me because it's about 7 p.m. here. But Oberlo we have two offices in Berlin and in Lithuania.
Oh, nice.
And so yeah, we're based in Europe, but of course serving merchants all over the world.
Yeah, for sure. That's really awesome. Berlin is a great city. So and Lithuania too. I keep hearing about like all these like Eastern European countries and like becoming tech hubs, and like, man, I'm gonna have to like move over there, especially because yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say kind of the cool thing about that is our founder, Thomas, so he started drop shipping because he was a little bit frustrated years ago with the lack of opportunities in Lithuania that he felt were challenging and kind of in line with what he wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And from his drop shipping sweatshirt store, we now have Oberlo. So it's been cool to see the tech scene grow with alongside Oberlo.
I feel like so it's like be the change you want to see, right? Like there's
Totally.
no opportunities, and so he just like created them all.
Exactly, he did, yeah.
That's amazing. That's really cool. So just a shout out, welcome to another video on Shopify Entrepreneurs, guys. And if this is your first time, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss anything. Jessica, we're going to be talking about using data. I love this. Data makes me so happy because I love being able to point to numbers and saying like, look, this should work. Like, you know, I feel like in my life, I'm always looking at various analytics and different numbers and trying to make sense of what they mean. So, yeah, let's dig into the meat and potatoes of this. Let's talk about data.
Sure. Yeah. Well, actually, so I'm going to start by talking about suppliers. And the reason I'm going to start by talking about suppliers, it's related. Because you had mentioned in the beginning of our chat the dropshipper concern about shipping from China to a lot of other countries, including the U.S., a big market of buyers. We have a new system of organizing our suppliers into AliExpress suppliers, Oberlo suppliers, and Oberlo verified suppliers. Okay. And now, when you go into Oberlo, you can sort by where the warehouse is. And I mention this just because a lot of times in the past, people were using different data points to try to figure out what suppliers they could trust. They would go on AliExpress and look to see what their ratings were, how many years they had been in business, and then based on that data, take a shot at deciding if they would work with that supplier. We heard from our merchants that took so long that we created Oberlo Verified to really do that work on their behalf and then some.
Sure.
So we'll talk about using data for products, but we kind of created this shortcut so our merchants don't have to use data to find good suppliers. They can just look for Oberlo suppliers or Oberlo Verified. And it means we have personal relationships with those suppliers. We oversee, especially Oberlo Verified, we oversee their performance. So if they're performing under par, we step in and help the merchant out.
Very cool. So like with that, how do you see it when you're in Oberlo? Like, is it part of the Google extension, the Chrome extension, or is it, is there a special website or something?
There, you can see it within Oberlo. So how about, can I jump into my screen for a little bit?
Yeah, just a second. Let me pull myself back up here. All right, go ahead.
Okay, and then I'll zoom out after we're done so it's not all screenshot. Okay.
Sure.
Then, okay, so now I think you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna go into, I'm just looking to see how, okay, cool. I'm gonna go into, I'm on the homepage, you can see the verified suppliers info here, but if you go to, say you're gonna search for any products.
Okay.
So I happen to have a little drop shipping store and I sell leggings. So you're going to see a lot of leggings here.
Nice.
Say I want to search for new leggings. I'd press this. And now on the side you can see these filters. I can search for verified suppliers. I can filter by suppliers with a US warehouse. When you're looking at these products, if you see the name of the supplier, it means they're an Oberlo supplier. So we have a relationship with them. These suppliers are not the creme de la creme of suppliers, but we do know them. We've checked their papers, and we've got that relationship. And then if you start looking for verified suppliers, you should be able to see, now you'll see this check mark appears. And that means these are suppliers with less than a 2% dispute rate. They ship 95% of their orders on time, and they've made over 1,000 drop shipping orders. So that means they're experienced, they don't put promotional material in the packages, and if you have a dispute with them and they're non-responsive, we immediately step in because that's not up to our standards.
Nice.
Say, if you don't have this and and I'm browsing for suppliers, I can still see all of the results from AliExpress here. Here, instead of saying the supplier name, it says AliExpress, right? And so within Oberlo, you can see results from AliExpress. We have no relationships, but we do show you the products here in the app. And then also from our own suppliers, where you can see a link to the supplier name and then verified with that check mark.
Nice.
Does that help?
Yeah. So this is within the Oberlo app, correct? We're not on AliExpress here, obviously.
We're not on AliExpress, right? We're totally within the Oberlo app.
Very cool.
I'll hop back into our video chat?
Absolutely.
Or should I stay on the screen?
Up to you. Do you have more to reference that, or we can definitely move back and forth?
Okay, I'll move back. I'll switch. Stop sharing. Okay. Does this work? Look at us seamlessly moving. Wow.
Oh man, we should get an A for the day. Oh.
We should.
I love it, like being a marketer and then having to figure out all this technology. It's like, okay, this isn't what I was not taught this in university. Let's just put it that way. So, very cool. No, I love that you can see, because I think that's one of the things that people have the hardest time with is like, okay, who is this supplier? Like, where is this coming from? And one thing I think people don't realize is like you can actually reach out to them. And like they have customer support, so you can like talk to them before you buy anything. But I also think it's fantastic having the verified. That just makes a lot of sense. So. Yeah,
and also, I mean, the thing you don't have on AliExpress is the option to sort by US warehouse. So that's a huge, because all of those shippers can ship to customers with USPS, and it gets there within 2 weeks usually.
Oh, nice. Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. So did you want to go into the data? What's the next step? What are we talking about next?
Heck yes, let's use data to talk about products to sell.
Awesome.
So even though we've had this brief interlude on screen, I'm going to hop back into my my laptop for my screenshot, and then we can go from there.
Fair.
Okay, let me see. Share screen. Share screen. All right, so you should be seeing my screen again.
Yes.
I'm going to go to, if I go up here, just click search products, like I'm going to start all over again. And first what I want to talk about is the data points that we have introduced. So we call these product statistics. I'll tell you what they are, and then Timothy, if you have questions, just stop me along the way and we can kind of go over your questions.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go to, let's see, this is a good example. Okay, so we're taking a look at these water bottles, and we're going to go to view product statistics, or we could just scroll down, same thing. And here we see a couple of things. I'll explain them from left to right. So this right here is star rating, and this is pulled from AliExpress. We pulled these statistics in particular because these are the statistics that merchants told us are important to them when they're deciding what to dropship. And every tutorial we watched told merchants, go look to see what the review is of a certain product before you dropship it. So we pulled that information into Oberlo, and you can see here both the review rating and the number of reviews. Now, if you want to go take a look at those reviews, you can always go on AliExpress and search the product and probably find it and see those reviews. But they're here for you to take a look at just to double check quality.
Nice.
Imports. So this is the number of times that a product has been added to an Oberlo store. And I think there could be the instinct to look at this as an indication of competition. But I would warn against that just because there are tons of merchants who are aspirational, who sign up, add a few products to their store, and then decide they don't want to do it. Sometimes we promote products and kind of every other reason in between. So it's interesting to see how many Oberlo stores have imported a product, but don't be afraid if this number is high. And really interesting statistic is page views, because this is the number of times the product was viewed across Shopify stores. And I should note, both imports and page views are exclusive data sets. You can't find them anywhere but in the Oberlo platform.
Okay.
Page views is really cool because it tells you how successful other merchants have been at driving eyeballs to this product, right? So if the page view is high like this, it means there are several drop shippers who are marketing savvy and they've been able to get a lot of eyes on this product. And this is page views in the past, I think it's page views in the past 30 days, but something about that sounds a little off to me. I can double check that for you.
Okay, sure.
But I love using this number in combination with orders here, because orders indicate the number of times a product has been ordered on Oberlo and AliExpress in the past 30 days, and then we also have data for the past 6 months. So you can kind of see here, okay, these water bottles were selling really well in the past 6 months, and then the trend has cooled somewhat in the past 30 days. Personally, my interpretation of this would not be one of alarm. I think it's just a seasonal product.
Yeah.
People were probably buying these juicer water bottles in the summer, and now as things get cold outside, likely people are searching more for thermoses or something instead of the hydrating water bottles.
Fair.
Do you have did I do an okay job of explaining that? Yeah,
so I'm looking at the page view number, and I guess if that is 30 days, then that kind of makes sense, because my first impression is like, okay, seeing the number of times it's been imported, I would think that would be like the page views would be higher. But if so I guess part of that is like a lot of people adding to their store and not necessarily being super marketing savvy and not being able to get eyeballs on the product. But then part of it, I think, would also be if this is just the last 30 days. And then what you said about the orders in the last 30 days versus the last 6 months, it definitely makes sense that would be a seasonal thing.
Yeah, and I just looked it up. So page views is in the last 30 days.
Okay.
So
that's great.
So it's pretty good. Although I have to admit, 32 orders out of 9K page views, this isn't really converting like it used to. So if someone was looking to add a product to their store right now, I might say, put this on your list. Yeah, put this in your list for the summer when people forget about it and they're ready for a new round of marketing, and those ads will look fresh and new to them in like next May.
Fair point. So what do you look for to find those hot products? Like how do you start the search?
For me, so of course you can find products, you can find like different levels of hot products, right?
Okay.
Like, kind of depending, and they just signal different opportunities based on where you are as a drop shipper. But if you're just starting out, I think there's no better sign of success of an item than the fact that it's been ordered before.
Sure.
So say you're like, you don't even know what to sell, you're just exploring niches. You can, if you add a couple items to your cart, or sorry, to your import list, as you scroll down a page like this, you can see best-selling products, and this gives you some ideas. Like, this is interesting, right? We just did a YouTube video about how to sell oil diffusers, and so it makes a lot of sense that these are best-selling as well, because you sell these oils along with oil diffusers. So let's take a look at the product statistics here and see what we can find. So the reviews, 4.7 out of 5 is pretty good. Out of 2,000 reviews, that's awesome. Like, a lot of people have bought this. In fact, over the past 6 months, we've got a 4K plus purchases. So this product sells, plain and simple.
Sure.
What's really exciting right now, okay, so we've got 85 page views and 47 orders in the past 30 days. This is interesting to me, and just to debunk this a little bit, so 47 is the number of times this product has been ordered on Oberlo websites and on AliExpress combined.
Oh, okay.
We combine that data because once our dropshippers find a winning product, we don't want to just give everyone the exact numbers of Oberlo sales, because that's kind of like, I think our merchants would be like, come on, you jerks. So we kind of obscure it. We give you enough data to tell, is this doing well or not? But whether it will work for your Oberlo store ultimately is something you have to test. The risk of testing a product like this that's had so many sales, though, is not a very high risk. Especially encouraging, compared to the water bottle we just saw that had, 9K imports or so, 6K imports. This has only had 2K imports. So what I think is happening here, a couple things. First, we see $10.99. This is a little bit pricey for a dropshipping product, but what I love about something like this is it's probably a little bit, it's unintuitive, right? So you would have to be a dropshipper who did a little bit of research and realized you sell these oils with the humidifier, with the oil diffuser, to realize the value in this product.
Sure.
Say you sell an oil diffuser, add this to your store, and this is such a good upsell opportunity. You can double or even triple this price, and once a customer has made a purchase, they're gonna want to have a lot of new oils to put in that diffuser so they can smell them all, and at least I would. So
yeah, absolutely.
So.
Okay, so with the oils, though, I would imagine that this could be something where folks wouldn't necessarily do super great online, because you want to know what it smells like. They're smell-o-vision isn't a thing yet, so
totally. Yeah, that's a great point. And I think here we get into so you can think of your products that you're adding to your store in two different ways. There's front-end products, and those are the products that you're advertising. That's kind of the first product you see your customer potentially buying. And then there's the steady sellers or the upsellers kind of in your back room. So yeah, it wouldn't make sense to have a Facebook ad about essential oils. Essential oils will only make sense to people who already own and ideally already purchased from you their oil diffuser. So if I were a drop shipper, though, this is obviously selling, so I would add it to my import list, I would add it to my store, and then I would go back to, okay, let's search products. I think we saw this in the bestseller list, but let's just get down to business and find an oil diffuser. So oil diffuser, and we've got, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it. The light.
No sales yet, but also very few page views. I'm kind of intrigued. Let's just check it out.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, and it's nice because it has different plug types. That's something you don't see often.
Oh, yeah.
So it's it has different lights. It releases this steam as the oil diffuses, and we can see it's had 48 orders in the last six months. And 19 page views and some good reviews. So this is what I would classify like a diamond in the rough. We know it's selling. It's just people are not quite importing it or driving or putting up Facebook ads for it yet. But it looks like based on this 6-month track records, if they do, they'll be able to get some sales. And if they don't with that model, there's all these other models. And what's amazing with these oil diffusers, and the reason why we say they're selling so well, is as you look at these product images, realize there's so much video potential. If you order one test product for yourself and just take a picture of it with the steam rising and changing colors, people are going to want to click that, buy that, and then you hit them with the oil set there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of almost like a store that you just built, with 2 products based on this data telling you, listen, drop shippers are like a little bit, they're not quite understanding the oil diffuser trend because it's a weird contraption. And so the drop shipper that takes the time to do a test order, figure it out, and then market it, there's a lot of room to run here.
That's really interesting that you say that, because I see that image and it looks very, Instagrammable. Mm-hmm. One thing that happens a lot is people will use the product images from, AliExpress, from Oberlo, and they won't change them in any way. They just literally pull it off the site and use that image on their own site. But I obviously always roast people about that because Google image search is a thing. But what I would say is that, like, they've kind of done the Instagram for you. Like, you can just look at those images and kind of create your own, like, order it, create your image pretty easily. And you can even just kind of copy a little bit from that. So
absolutely. Yeah, it's a good starter pack of images. So we've kind of talked about,
Sorry, actually, Joji is asking, what's an example target interest for oil diffuser? What would you say about that?
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. I'm trying to think back. When we did the YouTube video on this, home decor was a good one. But I know that's really broad.
I wonder if, like, kind of it kind of makes me think of, like, incense and kind of like that granola lifestyle a little bit, even though this one is, electric. I don't know if that would be a good market to go off of in some ways.
I think so. Actually, so when we were doing research for, like, if you were to share this on Instagram, you wouldn't use hashtags related to oil diffusers. That just puts you in a feed with your competition. Mm-hmm. Instead, you would use hashtags related to aromatherapy. So actually, that really answers it. It's people interested in aromatherapy or even holistic wellness that tend to be most intrigued by a product like this. And we found this one hashtag, essential oils rock, which is great because it's just a bunch of, like, people who love essential oils posting. It's not loaded down with commercial content. So aromatherapy is really what you target. And this is a seasonal trend. So we've seen on Google Trends, if you search oil diffuser, you can see it starts to climb around the holidays. And it's gotten bigger and bigger every holiday season for the past couple of years. So we think this is going to be a pretty good year for dropshippers selling oil diffusers. Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. What are your other ways of finding diamonds in the rough? Is there? Yeah, sorry if I. No, I love it. I do this all the time. I love it. It's just like ferreting through, and it's more fun now that you've got this data because you're just like, wow, why aren't dropshippers selling this? Or other things, it's like, wow, why isn't this selling? Sure. So I was looking this up earlier. I'm actually going to go to suppliers and scroll through our list of suppliers because there's one supplier in particular that does really good cell phone cases. And I know you're thinking, like, cell phone cases, how the heck can anyone still make money with cell phone cases? Isn't it played out? Yeah. But it all has to do with, I think it was Joji, the comment about, like, the target audience. So let me just scroll around. By the way, so if you're searching for suppliers, sometimes it's a good way if you just want to work with one supplier to make life easier, you can kind of browse them here. And we show their warehouse location, how many items they have, whether they include promotional material, which none of them do, and the time it usually takes them to fulfill orders. This is even, like, it's usually much
shorter than that in experience. But
Okay.
anyway, I'm getting off track. I am looking for this cell phone provider.
It's easy to do. I mean, you can literally find everything on AliExpress.
It really is, right? Okay. Well, maybe I'll jump in. Here it is. Milky Way cases. Yeah. Okay. Here's what excited me about this. I was trying to think, because someone had asked, like, how do you sell cell phone cases? Is that still a niche? And I was like, gosh, I think so. But so here's the thing. Something like this is not a niche. Like, this would be a bad cell phone product to have as your front end product. You can add it to your store, but Facebook ads are going to be so hard to target here.
Yeah.
What excites me about Milky Way phones, for whatever reason, maybe they might be a new supplier, I think, that we added. So imports are low. It just means that like dropshippers aren't seeing this. That doesn't mean anything more than that, right? They're just not seeing the supplier. Page views are low, meaning maybe a couple of page views on these. But I think this is a pretty new supplier. That's why this starts to make me think, I wonder if there's diamonds in the rough here. Like, people just aren't, a couple hundred imports here and there, but it doesn't seem like dropshippers are really onto this this supplier. And of course, you could say, well, that's because, cell phones are whatever. But I saw two. Okay, this one, I was like, wait a second, this is so sneaky perfect. And I, of course, I told you this was all about product statistics, and now I'm going to show you these skimpy little product statistics, and you're going to be like, how can you be telling the truth? So it's had 132 imports, only 11 page views, but it's had an order. So that's like, a 10% conversion rate practically. So that's not too bad for this little handful of stores that have there. What I love about this is the smart marketer can easily describe who would probably buy this. Oh, yeah. It's most likely going to be a girl, right? It sounds like something a young girl would say to me. And so maybe that would be like a girl under the age of 25. So we already know those two demographic datas. We can tell, so this branding looks very much like McDonald's. So this might be someone who's already following McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's as kind of like a junk food junkie and proud of it. Yeah. And based on those interests, maybe they also follow like memes and stuff like that. I think that would be an audience that you could enter into a Facebook audience manager or audience insights and instantly get the type of person who wants this based on the text here and the branding of the fries and everything. Yep. So I think this is like a perfect front-end product. You advertise this, and then you go back and you can add all these other like cutesy-wootsy cell phone cases that those young women might also want to buy in the back end of your store.
So just to step in and the kind of tools that you're mentioning here, like you use Google Trends, and then you said Facebook Audience Insights as well. So what are those the main tools that you use to figure out stuff like this? Are there other tools? You know what I like? That's kind of what I use when I'm starting to figure out like niches. A lot of times I do. I mean, now that you have this data, you don't have to guess so much about particular products to sell, but you do need to think of what's a niche. So another thing I like to use is Uber Suggest by Neil Patel. Okay. And the thing that I like about this is, say I am interested, okay, so I just gave away my secret with this auto pop-up. I'm kind of having this feeling that like Viking jewelry might be selling, but if I said like Viking ring, I actually think I looked this up, and like this keyword volume is it's not too good for like an SEO play. But I don't do it so much for SEO play as to go to this keyword ideas section. And there I can see like the top results on Google for these different keywords. So I can see, okay, Viking merch sounds like that would be a competitor. Nice. Sons of Vikings, I can check all this out. And then I see, what are people interested in who search for a Viking ring? Dragon necklace, interesting. Celtic rings, so that could be a different angle for it. Yeah. So as I start to suss out where there might be opportunity, then I go back into Oberlo and I'm like, okay, if I think that Viking jewelry is something that I'm seeing trending,
then why don't I just search for Viking jewelry and see if the products actually are selling? So I'll go.
Rayson is using Uber Suggest as well and loves it. So really happy about that. Thanks for
sharing. Oh, cool. Ryzen, it's cool. I started using it for like my own social media kind of stuff. And then I was like, wait a second, this would be good for drop shipping.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we see Viking jewelry, and kind of like the phones, we don't see that much going on in terms of sales. But here's the reason why I'm not too concerned. First of all, we do start to see when we get into like some AliExpress products, more sales. And just as before, if you see a product here from AliExpress that's perfect for your store, you can still add it within Oberlo. It's just that we don't step in if that relationship, if something is up, we're not as proactive there. But like you can still totally push it to your store. One of the reasons I got excited about this just niche though was like, if you go to Facebook, I don't know what Facebook is going to pop up for the general populace there, but and search like Viking jewelry. Oh, sorry. Actually, I should have do something like, well, here you see all my competition. There's Viking merch again, right? So you do Viking jewelry, like 50% off. Something that someone who is posting an advertisement might say. So it could be Viking jewelry free shipping, Viking jewelry 50% off. Go to posts. And then I like to limit it to 2018.
Okay, sure.
And you can kind of see this was a bad example. I must have used like Viking ring or something like that, or maybe just Viking 50% off. Something like this. You see, okay, this had 52 comments and 240 shares. Like, and this was supposed to, So this tells me these ads are getting views. So when I go back into Oberlo and I see these products, I'm not so concerned about like, I think I have a shot at selling them because I see that they're getting clicks as a niche. It gets clicks and views on Facebook. And here, with only 203 imports and 6 page views, I don't think other dropshippers are trying to sell something like this. So I guess the story that I'm painting here is that you can go with products that have a high order count. That's a great way to tell if a product is selling, right? But if you're one of those drop shippers that's like, but I want to find like the thing no other drop shippers are doing right now, you can use something like imports and low page views and view those lower numbers as like blue sky opportunity if your other indicators like keyword search, Google Trends, a search for other ads on Facebook show you, all right, this is something I'm onto.
Yeah, sure. It's possible to like sort by the imports and page views and all of that, or not really?
Yes. So you could sort. You can sort by orders, not imports or page views, but orders is the most important thing anyway. So say if we're doing like, my leggings, and I want to see everything with an order count over 10. That will return to me everything with an order count over 10.
Okay, perfect.
And you can even sort them up here by orders count. And that should, sometimes our search might get a little wonky here. I think what I've told but you can start to see some of it like, this is crazy. Yeah. I don't know how this sells. It's plain gray leggings and it's sold 14,000 times. So there's still so much to learn.
Yeah. Absolutely. So once you've identified like a diamond in the rough or a study seller or something that's super trending, and then you want to start to build these relationships with the supplier, how do you go about doing that?
So I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but we are working on a way to chat with your suppliers.
Oh, perfect.
Because we've heard that a lot. Right now, you can you can have that chat going if something goes wrong. You can submit a dispute and they answer right away.
Sure.
And sort that out. But if you wanted to reach out to, say, like Aventura Jewelry and talk with them directly. It would take just jumping through a few more hoops now than we think it should. So that's actually, let me circle back to you on that answer, because I don't think we have, it's not something I've done for my store, so I'm not super familiar with the process of reaching out directly to suppliers, unless there's an issue. Yeah.
Sure. I think I remember, I think it was Trevor Chapman or something, recommending that you can actually get some of them on WhatsApp, which seems really cool. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously doing it in an Oberlo app via chat would be amazing, but it's really great to be in contact with suppliers, I think, because they can let you know if if they're getting a lot of orders and things might be slowing down, or whatever. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So were there other tips that you wanted to throw out there?
I think that's the main stuff. I would just say if you're brand new to drop shipping, choose a product that you're really interested in aside from drop shipping, because a lot of times people are searching for diamonds in the rough in categories that they have no experience in, and you can definitely make money that way. It usually takes a little bit of skill and savvy, but I personally find it a lot more enjoyable to do something within a niche that you know about. So using that plus our other research methods to identify a niche, then the next step is to go in and pick the right products. And luckily with the new product statistics, that's easier. Like I said, so I do leggings. So you see all these leggings. The way that I choose them for my store is the same way that I just told you. I look and I see what's selling. I personally prefer to work with only suppliers with US warehouses, so I don't ever have to, okay. This is wrong. I know it's wrong. We're still kind of working, because these product features are new. We're still working through some of those features. I bet if I click this, it'll say no results either too. Oh no, okay, it has results. I prefer working with verified just because then I fulfill orders with the click of a button. A lot of times the AliExpress products that I want to sell are available with verified suppliers anyway. So I've contacted a few of them. If like something was late, they get back to me right away and resend it, no questions asked. So it's just really easy to work with them. Yeah. So using a combination of research the trends to pick your niche, research the product statistics to pick your products, and then choose Oberlo verified or Oberlo suppliers if you're a new dropshipper and you kind of just want to do a shortcut to suppliers you can trust, or you can do your own research and choose any supplier on AliExpress.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, if anyone in our audience, if you're using the strategies that we talked about today, make sure to let us know how they worked out for you. We really do want to see those in the comments, and we'll be monitoring those to offer support as well. And just a shameless plug, if you want to boost your sales and improve your Shopify store, post a job on Storetasker. Be chatting with a vetted Shopify expert within minutes. Jessica, obviously folks can go on Oberlo. They can download the app if they don't have it already. What's a great way to reach out to you? Because I know that you're, interacting on social media all the time. If folks have questions, how can they get those answered?
You can contact us on any social media channel, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. But I will say it's been really cool to see Instagram grow as a place where dropshippers talk to each other in our comments section and share tips. So if you're going to follow us on one channel, I suggest Instagram, because I've been really surprised to see some of the experts that weigh in on our comments and let us know their productivity tips, their first sales stories. It's just really cool. So follow us on Instagram, ask any questions you have.
That's amazing. Awesome. Next week, I'm going to be doing a full roast my store section again. I'm going to be doing that with Riley, the head of marketing at rewind.io. If you don't want to miss out on that or any of our other chats, there's a few things you can do. Make sure to sign up for our Insiders newsletter, which I put in the comments of this video. And if you are watching us on YouTube and you're not already, make sure to be in Shopify Entrepreneurs. Jessica, thanks so much again for being on with us.
My pleasure. I had a lot of fun.
Same. All right. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.